Hello, I hope you can hear me. This is a video that I'm shooting without any mic testing and things like that. What I wanted to take up today was a sense in which a situation is grasped by someone who does not already have a predetermined stake in how the place in which it is unfolding has been organized. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say that you are a fresher who walks into a college, perhaps during one of their open days, and you're looking through the various catalogs that the departments may have on offer, and you're thinking about what it is that you may want to take up. And this is a common enough situation, and many of you will find yourselves there if you have not already. Now, there's a way in which there are similarities in terms of what it is various disciplines take up as their subject of their understanding or their critique and so on. And this is perhaps more true in the social sciences than it may be in certain other areas, though I am sure that there may later come objections to such a standpoint. Uh, Without getting into any of those details, what I'd like to read out is a short note I wrote regarding the relation of a person or a group to the object of their inquiry or critique. And honestly, I believe that this can be read in relation to certain class affiliations, to the uh, material that you work with, and things of that nature. So, without any further introductions, let me read out the note. Thursday, 24th March 2022. Critique of mimesis as powerplay. Establishing a personal association with an object or image as a form of mirroring a relation perceived in the other cannot be a form of critique or correspondence with the other, i.e., this is not to reify either of the associations. What am I trying to say here? Uh, let's say you're an artist. Let's say you're putting together something simple. Let's say sitting on a field amidst a football match going around on the periphery, you put together a pile of stones and then you try and arrange it in such a way in which you, for example, rank the players according to who you believe is the best striker or the best midfielder or whatever. Now, as valid as your installation may be as a work of art, it is not really representative of the game of football. In other words, if I were to be a television viewer and if I wanted to know about the game, I would literally want a commentary on the game and not a an artistic rearrangement of different elements to represent what you see may be happening there, which I may yet recognize as a work of art. So this is in some ways an analysis and a critique on forms of correspondence. And honestly, in the realm of power play, this really does become something that is ritualized. You even see it at fairly expanded levels. So for example, um, if Pakistan buys 20 fighter jets from the US, you will find maybe 6 months' time or the next year, India making a deal for 21 or something of that sort. In carrying on, a set of two oranges and an apple, for instance, may be a bowl or a set of maybe a bowl or a set of fruit for you. To me, they may be a collection of shapes. To a third, they may be a set of colors. One's association with an object, whether religious, sexual, or economic, etc., is explicated only in its explication. In other words, there is a singularity in the subject's association with an object. And I think this is exceedingly important to grasp at the level of disciplinary understandings and logics. The way a potter thinks about a bowl that they made is not the same way in which an economist would think of it. It's not the same way in which a farmer may think of it, and so on. Our own positions in the social nexus do determine um, unconsciously almost how we cognize or relate to other facets of expression or creation or manufacture that society is engaged in. And this is a truth that would be perceived at the peripheries of any discipline, yet I believe it is psychoanalysis that has tried to formalize it into a concept, a way in which it can name how another logic perceives the object of one's own understanding. And the algebraic term for it almost is the other, with the capital O. In continuing with my note, and this was a later edition, in fact, if the state has a role today, it would be principally to uphold law and order, which, without uh, reifying them, serves us only when they can protect the singularity of our associations. The caveat is that this may force us to present them publicly. If there is a novel organizational problem today, it is our attempt to find an adequate form of presentation for the singularity of our associations. The common name for this medium which may facilitate such an event is language. To repeat one of Zizek's early points, we do not know our bondage when we lack the very terms to articulate our unfreedom. All right, now this is basically a note made in a diary entry. It's not an organized paper, it's not to be presented anywhere. It is not even a statement or an objection made in a class. But given the present state of affairs, this is honestly the best means I could imagine to present what I believe is an issue that a lot of us do face, whether we are or not involved in formal academia. If you do think that this form of presentation is useful, and this is honestly a test for that as well, I would welcome feedback, critique, criticism, any suggestions that you may have. And yeah, that wraps up this video. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.